शुभ सकाल पिला माने आज आमे जस्मिन बहिर क्लास अष्टम प्रथम पाठ इंग्लिश क्वेश्चन आंसर करिबा। प्रथम पाठर ना हेउची पिला माने विट एंड विजडम, द विट दैट ओन हार्ट्स हला। तो ये देखो गोटे पैसेज देइची, तो पैसेज को पढ़िबो हला। मु पाठटी बड़ हिथवार मु तुमको आउ किछि टीचिंग करूनी हला। तो खाली डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर कर दउची हला। तुम माने स्कूल तो पढ़िथियो पाठटी ट्यूशन में पढ़िथियो। इट इज द शॉर्ट स्टोरी गिवन बिलो। Once Shivam Parvati held a competition between their son Ganesh and Kartika. They were given the challenge to move around the wall 3 times. The one who wins would receive the fruit of wisdom. Kartika, with his peacock mount quietly set up, Ganesh on his mouse realized he could not complete with Kartik's speed. Instead, he moved around his parents, Shiva and Parvati 3 times. He took for them as his entire world. Pleased with his devolution of wisdom, Shiva Parvati gave him the divine fruit. Now discuss the reason why Ganesh was given the fruit of wisdom. हला बापा मां को से कौन कला गणेश कौन कले बापा मां को पृथ्वी मानि करी कौन हले बापा मां को चारिपटे बुलिक आसले किंतु कार्तिक कौन गले ना बुलिया पे कौन पृथ्वी चारिपटे 3 राउंड बुलिया पे आसले। तो गणेश को तांकर चतुरता देखी शिव पार्वती कौन कले विजडम र फल तांको देले हला। काहे ना बापा मां ही हमर देवता तेणु करी से देले। Work in pair and answer the riddle that are given below. Share the answer with your classmate. Mela? I can be the friend or foe depending on how you use me. I can bring both of joy or pain. What am I? देखो ये गोटे riddle देला। The more of me you take, the more you leave behind. What am I? I can be measured, but I cannot be touched. I can be spent, but I cannot be saved. What am I? Hala. And you see me in the water, but I never get wet. What am I? Hala. At the first, I can be friend or a foe, depending on how you use me. Hala. देखो शब्द एडा कौन हम अर्थ हम कौन वर्ड्स कौन वर्ड्स शब्दर खेल। शब्द को तुम जदि भल भाव व्यवहार कल ताले तमर कौन समस्ते बंधु प्रिय शब्द कह बंधु हे जे समस्ते आ जदि खराब शब्द कल तमर शत्रु हे जे समस्ते गाली कल बोले हैला ना। द मोर यू टेक यू द मोर यू लीव बिहाइंड। व्हाट एम आई? एडा देखो आर अर्थ कौन ना फुटस्टेप पाद चिन्ह फुट स्टेप्स हला। I can be measured का को हमें मापे। I can be measured but I cannot be touched. I can be spent but I cannot be saved. What am I? कौन एडा ना टाइम। टाइम की मेजर कर परिबा सेव कर परिबा नहीं हला। टाइम को टच कर पारे नहीं बट टाइम स्पेंड कर परिबा हला। तब लिखो You see me in the water but I never get wet. What am I? देखो वाटर रे देखुछ रिफ्लेक्शन ना नहीं रिफ्लेक्शन हला। नेक्स्ट द डिस्कस इन पेयर। Why are qualities like humor and wit important in a person? हला। Humor and wit makes देखो आर आंसर कौन हम ना देखो ये देखो तार आंसर मु तुमको ये देखे दउची देखा जाउची ना हाँ एड देखि पार्थुआ। एक नंबर देखो What are qualities like humor and wit important in a person? Answer: humor and wit make a person cheerful, help solve problems wisely, reduce stress, and build good character, good relations with others. ଏଠି ଦେଖ ଏକ ନମ୍ବର ଆନ୍ସର ଏଇଟା ହବ ନା ନାଇଁ ହେଲା ଆନ୍ସର ଏଠି ଦେଇ ଦେଇଛି ଦେଖ ଏଇଟା ଏକ ନମ୍ବର ଆନ୍ସର। 2 ନମ୍ବର ଦେଖ why do you think the king and queens prefer to have witty people among their courtiers? The king and queen prefer witty courtiers because they gave wise advice, solved difficult problems, entertained the court, and helped in making good decisions. ହେଲା আর 2 ନମ୍ବର ଆନ୍ସର ଦେଖ ହେଲା ଏଇଟା ହେଇଯିବ ତାର ଆନ୍ସର। ତାପରେ ଦେଖ 3 ନମ୍ବର if you were asked to solve a disagreement between two people, what approach would you take? को approach ତମେ କରିବ ନବ ନା I would listen to both sides patiently, understand the problem fairly, and suggest a peaceful solution. ହେଲା and fair solution. ହେଲା ଲେଖିବ 4 ନମ୍ବର ଦେଖ have you ever been in a situation where a small misunderstanding leads to a big problem? How was it resolved? Yes, ଯେ ତମେ କେବେ କାର ଦି ଜଣ ଭିତରେ କଳି କଜିଆ ହେଇଥିବ ତାର ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ କୁ ମଧ୍ୟସ୍ଥ ହେଇକରି ସଲ୍ଭ କରିଛ କି ତାହେଲେ ସେଇଟା ଲେଖିବ। ମୁଁ ଦେଖ କରିଛି once a misunderstanding happens between my friend and me, ମୋ ସାଙ୍ଗ ମୋ ଭିତରେ ଦିନେ କଣ ମିସଅଣ୍ଡରଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡିଂ ହେଇଥିଲା we talked calmly, ଆମେ ଧୀର ସ୍ଥିର ଭାବେ କଥା ହେଲୁ ପରସ୍ପରକୁ ବୁଝାଇଲୁ ଆଉ ସରି ମାଗିଲୁ ତାପରେ ସଲ୍ଭ ଦ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ପିସଫୁଲି ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ କୁ ସହଜରେ କଣ ନିପଟେଇ ଦେଲୁ ହେଲା। ତାପରେ ଦେଖ ହେଲା the Vijayanagara Empire, renowned for its glory, wealth, and cultural achievement. Among its many illustration rulers, King Krishnadevara ruled 1590 to 29 CE, stood out a wise and powerful monarch. His reign was often referred as the golden era of the Vijayanagara Empire, a time when art, literature, and architecture flourished. A great patron of learning, Krishnadevara was not only an eminent warrior but also a gifted poet. His works such as epic Amukta Malyada and the Sanskrit Dharma Jambhavati Parinayana are acclaimed even today. ହେଲା ତ ଏଇଟା କଣ ଆମର अर्थ गुड़ाक रिनोड मतलब वेल नोन, इलस्ट्रेशन मतलब रेस्पेक्टेड एंड फेमस, पैट्रन मतलब सपोर्टर, एमिनेंट मतलब जो फेमस प्रसिद्ध, एक्लेम्ड प्रेज्ड प्रशंसा हला। कृष्णदेवराय कोर्ट वाज होम टू 18 celebrated poet collectively known as the Ashtadiggaj. These poets including Allasani, Pedana and Tellani Ramakrishna enriched the literary tradition with their masterpiece. Tenali Ramakrishna in particular was known as for his quick wit and humor, earning him a special place in King's Court as both a poet and a witty advisor. His clever solution to seemingly insurmountable problems made him a beloved figure in the empire's history. Even the wiser ruler faced moments of disharmony, and one such time the king had a quarrel with his queen Tirumalambal over a seemingly trivial matter. For weeks he did not utter a single word to her, and in his frustration stopped visiting her altogether. His absence cast a shadow over the palace, and the once cheerful corridors seemed quiet and forlorn. Tirumalambal was upset and tried her best to resolve the issue but failed. With no other alternative, she decided to seek the help of Tenali Rama, the court's brilliant and witty poet. Rama listened patiently as the queen recounted the incident in details. The king wrote a poem. She began, her voice trembled. It was filled with a vague expression, sun, moon, star, beautiful sky, but it made no sense. When he tried reciting it to his minister. They all avoided him, making excuses. It was late evening when he came to me seeking an audience. He began reciting to me, but I was exhausted after a tiring day, and I yawned, not once but several times. The king thought I was disrespecting his poem and stormed off. Since then, he has not spoken to me. If I had known this would happen, I would have chosen another day. Help me, please, Rama. Only you can help, the king understand. Rama nodded thoughtfully. If you like, I will try my best to resolve this matter, your highness, but this needs a well-planned approach, and need I may need time to find the right strategy. The queen, who had placed her last hope in Rama, agreed and then thanked him thanked him purposefully purposely. The next morning, the royal king was bustled with the ac- activity. Ministers, scholars, and courtiers filled the courtroom. Rays of sun streamed through the open window, illustrating the floor adorned with exquisite rocks. Despite the lively chatter, a tension huge in the air, the king sat on his ornate throne, his expression stern, his sharp eyes scanning the room. It was evident that the unresolved quarrel still grounded at him. Grounded means bothered. Stern means very serious. Ornate means decorative. Bustling मतलब busy. Purposely मतलब profusely मतलब in large amount. Strategy मतलब plan. है The court discussion was centered on improving paddy cultivation in the empire. One by one, the minister rose to present their idea. Some suggest expanding irrigation network, while others advocated for better manure. Amid these suggestions, Tenali Rama stood quietly at the edge of the court, observing everyone with an amused smile. Finally, the king called upon Rama. The chatter in the court died down as well. Eyes turned to him. Rama approached the throne, carrying a plate full of paddy seeds. Bowing low, he began, Your Majesty, I bring you a revolutionary type of paddy seeds. If these are sown, the field will be there time greater than the current results. A murmur swept through the room. One of the courtiers, known for his sarcasm, whispered just loud enough to be heard. I wonder if these are magic seeds. Next, he shall claim they grow without water. Another muttered, perhaps he found them on the moon. Sneakers rippled throughout the court. The king frowned unimpressed. That sounds absurd. He muttered, such cultivation would need special soil manure and pest and insect repellents. If by chance something were to go wrong, our farmers should suffer. Rama smiled unfazed. That may be true, Your Majesty, but I really issue lies not with the seeds themselves, but with the person who sow them. देखो याइल्ड मतलब हार्वेस्ट सार्केजम मतलब मकेरी जो जोक करिबा स्निकर्स मतलब सरप्रेस्ड लफर हला absurd मतलब illogical unfazed मतलब not worried. A husk fell over the court and Rama sword huge in the air. The king's eyebrow furrowed. That is the wrong with the person who sowed the seed. Speak clearly, Rama. He roared. Rama glanced around the court, his sharp gaze meeting the skeptical eyes of the court. One were to sow seeds without proper care. No one could reap a good harvest, he said, pursuing for effect. And what if the person had a habit of yawning while sowing? Would not seeds scatter unevenly? The husk मतलब silent, furrowed मतलब wrinkled, skeptical मतलब doubtful, हला The court erupted into laughter, the elder sarcasm replaced by genuine amusement. Even the king caught up God's side and instinctively yawned. Rama watched him keenly. They continued, Your Majesty, is there anyone in the world who does not yawn? It is a natural as breathing. The king's expression shifted a realistic dawn. His mind racked back to this quarrel with the queen. He remembered scolding her harshly for yawning with while he is reciting his poem. He realized how unfair he had been. If I had known that yawning was not a sign of disrespect, I would have taken her gesture so personally. He thought, regret filling his heart. Gesture means a movement of a hand or head to express an idea or a meaning. Hala. The evening, that evening, the king approached the queen with a softened expression. Tirumalambal, he began his voice gently. I have been foolish. I see now that I overreacted. I let my pride blind me. I am so sorry. The queen, who had longed for his moment, smiled and replied, If you like, we can leave this quarrel behind us. I would very much like to listen to your poem. Rama, who had orchestrated this settlement, felt victorious. The king and the queen later presented him with a valuable gifts for his service. The royal couple's bond was restored, and the palace brimmed once again with a joy and laughter. Orchestrated मतलब arranged, हला. Brimmed मतलब overflowed, हला. चला discussion करा. Question: correct the following sentence false statement from the text. हला. The queen insulted the king by speaking against the quality of his poem. एटा कौन? False. The queen did not insult the king. She only suggested that he recite the poem on another day. ହେଲା. तो देख एट देख तुमको फर्स्ट ट्रू कह दउछि तार आंसर मु तुमको अन्य पेज देखि दे सेठु देख लिखि लिख दबो. Tenal Rama immediately went to the king and convinced him to talk to the queen. ହେଲା. एटा सेंटेंस टा कोन? False. एटा हल false. एटा कोन हबो? Tenal Rama was first planned a wise strategy and then helped the king and queen reconcile. ହେଲା. 3 number देखो, the courtiers admired the king's poem and praised his literary talent. एटा false. से माने डर रे कहिथिले आउट ऑफ फियर, हला. तो एटा भी तरफ करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट रा मु तुमको देखेबी, हला. एबे देखि दे कोडा 4 नंबर देखो, एटा भी false. तार करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट रा देखेबी, एटा भी false देछि, हला. तार करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट देखो. देखला. एटा देखो, the queen did not insult the king. She only suggested that he recite the poem on the another day. 2 number देखो, Tenal Rama immediately went on the king and convinced him to talk the queen. एटा false. फास्ट से प्लान स्ट्रेटजी तैयार कला, तापर क्वीन को राजा को रिकंसाइल मिलेला. 3 नंबर देखो, the courtiers admired the king's poem and praised his literary talent. एटा भी कोन हबो? बोलो देखो, fear डर रे आउट ऑफ फियर, हला. False statement 4 number टा भी, the minister court were eager to hear Tenal Rama's idea about paddy cultivation. The minister were eager to hear, curious and listen carefully to Leonard's unusual idea about paddy cultivation, हला. 5 number देखो, the king never realized his mistake and continues to get angry with the queen. Na, she realize kale mistake, hala, apologize to him the queen, and then reconcile happily, hala. तापर देखो next question. Read the extract and answer the following questions that follow. The king thought I was disrespecting his poem and stormed off. Since then, he had not spoken to me. Choose another day. Help me, please, Rama. Only you can help the king understand. Rama nodded thoughtfully. If you like, I will try my best to resolve this matter, Your Highness. But this need a well-planned approach, and I may need time to find the right strategy. ହେଲା What does the queen believe? ଏଟା ଦେଖ क्वेश्चन देला चारटा क्वेश्चन तार आंसर ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ଏଠି ଶୋ କରି ଦଉଛି ଦେଖ What does the queen believe that only Tenali Ram can help the king understand? Answer कौन हबो? The queen believed that only Tenali Ram is wise, intelligent, and clever enough to make the king understand the misunderstanding. ହେଲା Second number देखो What does the queen's statement? If I had known this would happen, I would have chosen another day. Suggest about her feelings. ହେଲା She regrets the unintended misunderstanding. ସେ କଣ କଲେ ନା she ତାଙ୍କର feelings କଣ ଥିଲା she regret the ଏଟା B ହେଇଯାଇଛି ଫୁଲରେ she regrets the unintended misunderstanding. 3 number देखो how does Tenali Rama response reflect his wisdom and problem solving skill? देखो Tenali Rama responded calmly and thoughtfully. He decided to make a proper plan instead of acting in haste, showing his wisdom and problem solving ability. ହେଲା चार नंबर देखो 2 नंबर देखो That evening the king approached the queen with a softened expression. Tirumalambal, he began his voice gently. I have been foolish. I see now that I overreacted. I let my pride blind me. I am so sorry. The queen, who had longed for this moment, smiled and replied, If you like, you can leave this quarrel behind us. I would very much like to listen to your poem. The guide complete the sentence with a suitable expression. When the king said, let my pride blind me, he means that देखा अरबी लिख दिया देख लो ना when the king said एड देखो when the king said I let my pride blind me, he means that his pride prevented him from thinking clearly and he wrongly misunderstood the queen. Why does the queen say, if you like, we can leave this quarrel behind us? She wants to forgive the king and the misunderstanding and restore peace and happiness. ସେ କଣ ପାଇଁ କହୁଥିଲେ ନା ସେ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲେ ଯେ ରାଜାକୁ କ୍ଷମା କରିଦେବେ ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ମିସଅଣ୍ଡରଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡିଂ ଶେଷ ହେଇଯାଉ ଆଉ ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ଶାନ୍ତି ଆଉ ଖୁସି ପୁଣି ଥରେ ହସି ଉଠୁ ଦେଖ fill in the blanks. The king acknowledged that his pride could clouded his judgment, which shows maturity and self-awareness. ହେଲା 4 number देखो state any one of the character that queen's response to the king's apology shows her about her. The queen is forgiving, also acceptable, kind, understanding, generous, compassionate. ହେଲା queen को प्रकार थिले ना understanding थिले ହେଲା kind थिले acceptable थिले ହେଲା generous थिले ଆଉ एही परि तांकर गुण गुड़ाक थिला। 2 नंबर देख तम बहिर देख फास्ट रे answer the following question. Why was Vijayanagara Empire considered to be its golden era during Krishnadevaraya reign? एटा नंबर देखिया क्वेश्चन आंसर। How did Tenali Ramakrishna gain a special place in king's court? How did the quarrel between the king and the queen affect the palace? Hala, what strategy did Tenali Rama use to make the king realize in his mistake? What was the reaction of the courtiers when Tenali Rama introduced his special paddy seeds? How does the story conclude and what lesson can be learned from it? देखा ये 6टार आंसर ए 6टा क्वेश्चन आंसर एबे हमें देखिबा हला चलो देखो why was the Vijayanagara Empire considered देखो हला why was the Vijayanagara Empire considered to be its golden era during Krishnadevara reign? It was called golden era because art, literature, architecture and culture flourished under Krishnadevaraya's rule. हला how did Tenali Rama Krishna gain a special place in the courts? Tenali Rama gained a special place in the king's court through his intelligence, wit, wisdom, ability to solve difficult problems. हला 3 नंबर देखो how did the quarrel between the king and queen affect the palace? तो राजा और रानी भितर जो झगड़ा सेटा किपरि पैलेस को शांत करबा पैलेस को एफेक्ट करथला हला राजा उपास ऊपर कोन प्रभाव पकाइथला। The quarrel made the palace unhappy and silent. Peace and joy returned only after Tenali Rama helped the king and queen reconcile. हला unhappy and silent करिक रखिथला हला नेक्स्ट देखो let us learn देखो fill in the blanks and complete the paragraph एटा देखिया आबे choosing suitable expression from the box given below हला सॉरी सॉरी 4टा क्वेश्चन 3टा क्वेश्चन सरला आ 3टा क्वेश्चन आंसर देखि दियो हला 3 नंबर देखो what strategy did Tenali Rama use to make the king realize his mistake? Tenali Rama cleverly presented some special paddy seeds and said they would have grown only if sown by a person who had never made a mistake. This made the king realize that everyone makes mistake, including himself. हला 5 नंबर देखो what was the reaction of the courtiers when Tenali Rama introduced his special paddy seeds? The courtiers are surprised and curious. They remained silent because they knew no one could honestly claim to have never made a mistake. हला 6 नंबर देखो how does the story conclude and what lesson can be learned from it? The king realized his mistake, apologized to the queen, and then reconciled. Peace and happiness returned to the palace. The story teaches us to be humble, admit our mistake, forgive others, and solve problem with wisdom. हला तापर देखो 6 नंबर देखो Fill in the blanks. Complete paragraph by choosing suitable expression from the given box below. Cast a shadow. Murmur wept through. Hush fell over. Mind racked back. The room stormed up. Rippled through. Hala. My mother is quite witty, and her sense of humor always lightens stressful moment. Once at the family dinner, an argument began over a minor issue, and this first ଟା କଣ ହବ ନା and a husk fell over କଣ ଏକ ନମ୍ବର ଦେଖ ମୁଁ ଲେଖି ଦଉଛି ଏଇଠି ଏକ ନମ୍ବର ଜାଗାରେ ଏକ ନମ୍ବର ଲେଖିଦବ ହେଲା making everyone feel uncomfortable just as things were getting serious. She made a clever remark and laughed to this the gathering, making everyone relaxed. ଦେଖ ଏଇଟା ହବ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଟା ହବ କଣ ରିପଲେଡ୍ ଥ୍ରୋ ହେଲା ରିପଲେଡ୍ ଥ୍ରୋ ଏଇଟା ହବ 2 ନମ୍ବର ରିପଲେଡ୍ ଥ୍ରୋ ହେଲା ଏଇଟା 2 ନମ୍ବର ଲେଖିଦବ ହେଲା the person who started the argument 3 ନମ୍ବର କଣ ହବ stormed up the room stormed up ଏଇଟା 3 ନମ୍ବର ହବ ହେଲା ତାପରେ ଦେଖ everyone disapproved of the action and a dash and a murmur wept through the room murmur wept through the room ହେଲା ଏଇଟା 4 ନମ୍ବର ହବ murmur wept through the room ହେଲା ଏଇ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା my 5 ନମ୍ବର ଦେଖ my mind racked back ଏଇଟା 5 ନମ୍ବର ହବ my mind racked back ହେଲା to how my mother had saved their other situations like this. Without her, such moments would have agote rahila cast a shadow. Such moments are cast a shadow over the gatherings. I hope that I grow up to be a witty as my mother. Hala? Dekho, the writer uses words like roared, murmur in the text to indicate the sound produced. Fill in the blanks with suitable sounds from the given box. You may refer to the dictionary. Mumble, gasped, murmur, sighed, groan, rattle, snickers, whispered, roared, thud. Hala? Dekha, as teacher began to riddle challenge, a dash of excitement spread through the classroom. A murmur. Hala? मर मर ମୁଁ ଲେଖି ଦଉଛି ଟାଇପ କରିକି ହେଲା ତମକୁ ଜଣା ପଡିବନି ଇଂଲିଶ ଟାଇପ କରି ଲେଖି ଦଉଛି ଏ ମର ମୋର ହେଲା सेकंड नंबर कौन हम सुकन्या dash relief she loved riddles more than solving mathematics she sighed hala think carefully the teacher began to dash as she wrote a riddle on the board whisper, ନାଇଁ roar, teacher, groan, ହେଲା। 4 number ଦେଖ, when the question was revealed, a few students days realizing it was as easy as they had expected. Gasped. Some exchanged days, sneakers, wondering if anyone at all would be solved it. So number देखो, then just then Sukanya tapped her book on the desk with a small thud. ହେଲା, deep in thought. Ah, I see it now. She said, stretching with a groan. 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 A small breeze made the window dash rattle. ହେଲା, rattle sound ପଡିଥିଲା। rattle ମାନେ କୌଣସି ବସ୍ତୁ ପରସ୍ପର ପବନରେ ବାଜିଲେ ଯୋଉ ସାଉଣ୍ଡ ହଉଛି। ହେଲା। 9 number, so what the answer? The student roared. ହେଲା, roared. Their voice filled with playful enthusiasm. 10 number, leaning forward with a smile, Sukanya, days sometimes the trickiest question have the simplest answer. Sukanya whispered. ନାଇଁ ଲାଷ୍ଟ କୋଉଟା ରହିଲା ଆଉ? mumble. mumble. ଏଟା whisper ହବ ପିଲାମାନେ, ଏଟା groan ହବନି, ଏଟା whisper ହବ। groan ହେଇଯାଇଛି। whispered. ହେଲା। next 3 number ଦେଖ, you have already learned that compound word is formed when two or more words are combined to make a new words with a distinct meaning. Here some words given in the column 1 and column 2. Make compound words by matching words in column 1 with those in column 2. Column 1, quick. column 1 ରେ କଣ ଦେଇଛି? quick. ଦେଖ, ଆକୁ କଲମ 1 ଆଉ କଲମ 2 ରେ ୱାର୍ଡ କୁ ମିଶେଇ ଗୋଟେ ନ୍ୟୁ ୱାର୍ଡ ତିଆରି କରିବ। ଯେମିତି ଦେଖ, ମୁଁ କ୍ୱିକ୍ କୁ ମିଶେଇକିରି ଗୋଟେ ୱାର୍ଡ ଲେଖିବି। ଏଇଠି ମୁଁ 1 ନମ୍ବର ଏଇଠି ଲେଖି ଦଉଛି। ହେଲା, ଏଇଠି ଲେଖି ଦଉଛି ତମର କ୍ୱିକ୍, କ୍ୱିଟେଡ, କ୍ୱିକ୍ WITTED, ୱେଟେଡ। ହେଲା, ଲେଖିପାରିବି। ଆଉ କଣ ସଫ୍ଟ ର କଣ ଲେଖିପାରିବି? ସଫ୍ଟ, ସଫ୍ଟ ର କଣ ଲେଖିପାରିବି? ସଫ୍ଟ, ଟେମ୍ପରେଡ। ଏଠି ଦେଖ, ସଫ୍ଟ ଟେମ୍ପରେଡ। କମନ, ସ୍ପୋକେନ, କମନ, spoken ହେଲା ଏଟା ଦେଖ କଣ ଲେଖିପାରିବି house house କଣ ଲେଖିବା house hold ଯୋଡିକି ଲେଖି ଦଉଛି house hold house ଆଉ hold କୁ ଲଗେଇକି ଲେଖିପାରିବି ନା ନାଇଁ 4 ନମ୍ବର 5 ନମ୍ବର ଦେଖ book store କଣ book store ଲେଖିପାରିବି ନା ନାଇଁ ହଁ ତାପରେ ଦେଖ ill sense ill sense ହେଲା ତାପରେ sky blue ଲେଖିପାରିବି ନା ନାଇଁ sky blue ହେଲା ଆଉ କଣ ଲେଖିପାରିବି dense hall ଏମିତି କଣ ଜି କଲମ A କଲମ B ର ୱାର୍ଡ କୁ ମିଶେଇକି ଗୋଟେ ନୂଆ ୱାର୍ଡ କର quick witted ଗୋଟେ ହବ soft tempered common spoken household book store ill sense sky blue dense hall ହେଲା next ଲମ୍ବା ପାଠଟା ଜଲ୍ଦି ଜଲ୍ଦି କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ କରିବା ହେଲା ଟିକେ ଦେଖ କୋଅପରେଟ କର ଏଟା ଭୁଲ ହେଇଗଲା ପିଲାମାନେ ଏଟା ଦିଟା ୱାର୍ଡ ଭୁଲ କଲେ ill sense ହବନି common sense ହବ ହେଲା ଏଠି common spoken common sense ହେଲା ଏଟା ଭୁଲ ଲେଖିଦେଲି common sense ହେଲା common sense ଲେଖିଦିଏ ଏଟା soft tempered ନା soft spoken ill tempered soft spoken ହେଲା ill tempered ହେଲା ill tempered quick witted ହେଲା soft spoken common sense household bookstore ill tempered blue sky ବା sky blue ହେଲା ତାପରେ bookstore common sense dense hall ହେଲା ଏଠି ଲେଖିପାରିବ ରବି ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଯୋଉ ଆଣିଛ ସେ ୱାର୍ଡ ରବି was soft spoken ଲେଖିପାରିବି soft spoken always as he calmly even in argument he grew up in a lively household where he learned that to handle different personality his friend Arun however was ill tempered କଣ ill tempered MPARED ill tempered often patient despite this Arun admired Rabi's dash thinking Rabi's quick witted thinking Rabi's quick witted thinking one evening as they passed a dance hall they saw some performers rushing out. Rabi noticed that one of them dropped a desk. One of them dropped a sky blue book on the ground. Is this yours? He asked. Oh, thank you, young man. The performer smiled. It's a recent purchase from the bookstore. Round the corner. True to his nature, Arun promptly said to Rabi, It's common sense. It's common sense. It's common sense that it is not from a bakery but bookshop. Ravi smiled and walked on. ହେଲା next ଦେଖ read the sentence from the given text and their expression given in the table below. ହେଲା ଦେଖ tense ତମର ଆମର ଭିडिଓ tense ବିଷୟରେ ଆଣା ହବ tense ବିଷୟରେ ତମକୁ ଆମର କ୍ଲାସ ଦିଆଯିବ ସଣ୍ଡେ ରେ ହେଲା ତ ସଣ୍ଡେ ରେ tense କ୍ଲାସ ହବ ସମସ୍ତେ ଚ୍ୟାନେଲ କୁ ସବସ୍କ୍ରାଇब କର ସଣ୍ଡେ ରେ tense କ୍ଲାସ ମିଳିବ ଆସିକିରି ଏଇ କ୍ଲାସ ରେ ଦେଖିପାରିବ ଗ୍ରାମାର ବି ଏଇଠି ପଢା ହବ ହେଲା ତ ଫାଷ୍ଟ क्वेश्चन आंसर ଦେଖିନେ ତାପରେ ग्रामर पछे पढ़िब हला sentence from the text if you like I will try my best to resolve this matters simple present plus present modals explanation the concern if clause may or may not be fulfilled the present tense refers only to possible action हला clause विषय तम डिटेल से पढ़ाबो एठी त ओटे क्लास रे लंबा हे गलानी पढ़ा सुविधा न सबनेट क्लॉज कोन मेन क्लॉज कोन केमदी कोन करियो से विषय हम 10th क्लास रे देखि दियो चैनल रे अछि रविवार दिन पढ़ाबो हला एठी आंसर खाली मु कहि दोछि हला subordinate clause if clause in the column A with the appropriate main clause in column 2 column A रे subordinate clause column 2 रे main clause देछि हला देखो if I had a magic wand I would sneak into the secret room I would give myself wings हला magic wand एटा मु मैच कर दोछि एठी ए कलम को बी कलम तमे लिखि देबो हला ए कर देखो मु एठी लिखि दोछि ए कर सी हला if it rains tomorrow दुईरा देखो ई हबो we will stay indoor and play board games वर्षा जदि हबो आमे ई नंबर सॉरी भूले गला ई नंबर भीतर रहबा आउ कोन करबा इंडोर गेम खेलिबा 3 नंबर देखो if you had listened carefully you would have solved the puzzle हला जदि तमे निरबर सहित सुनी थांत you have solved the puzzle f number 8 हबो हला if you finish your homework जब तमे निज होमवर्क फिनिश करबो ताले we will go to the theater हमें थिएटर देखिया पे मूवी थिएटर देखिया पे ए नंबर हला 4 रो ए if I were invisible जदि मु अदृश्य हिजबी ताले कन बा I would sneak into the secret room बी नंबर हबो हला 6 नंबर देखो if the alarm had rung जदि अलार्म बाजबो the boys would have woken up on time ताले पिल्ला माने ठीक टाइम रे उठी पारिबे हला डी नंबर हला बी नंबर देखो complete the following sentence appropriately with entire either the main clause or subordinate clause if clause your teacher will be unhappy if you do not complete your homework if you do not complete your homework if you do not complete your homework हला they would have caught the train if they had reached the station on time हला this if you continue to stay up late every night you will fall sick you will fall sick तमे असुस्थ होई दियो जब तमे सब दिने राति रे लेट जाए चेता रहिबो if she knew the answer जदि से आंसर जानथो she would tell us से हमको कहि देबो this if she had studied harder she would have passed the exam she would have passed हला passed the exam if she studied hard एटा लिखि दउछु हला she would have passed the exam if she had studied hard would have हबो हला 6 नंबर देखो if I had a million rupee I would build a big जो million rupee थवा I would build a big house हला 6 नंबर देखो complete the following sentence one example has been done for you if I were tree I would play with the winds and talk to the birds if I were the head teacher of my school यदि head teacher होइथांती कोन करथाती I would make the schools clean and student friendly हला अंडर लिखि दे ऊपर टिके हो हला एडजस्ट कर दे हला 3 नंबर देखो if I were a bird जदि bird हेइथांती कोन करथाती I would fly मुड़ी थांती high in the sky हला if I were a magician जदि मु magician हेइथांती मु गरीब लोक को सहायता करथां I would help poor and needy people हला if I had studied harder जदि मु भल से पढ़ी थांती I would have scored better marks हला नेक्स्ट लिखिलो you listen a woman narrating a story as you listen fill in the blanks with the following sentence by selecting the correct option transcribe the teacher on page number 46 रे देखियो हला the rope trying to bundle of stick was हला एटा हबो bundle of stick was thick हला the scholar is finally referred to as arrogant हला you will once again listen to the story as you listen the number of events of the story in the correct order of the occurrence first story को लाइन आसला तापर को लाइन आसला देखो तमे जाय कि सेटा स्टोरीटा पढियो मु तुमको आंसर कहि दउची एठी लिखि दियो हला फर्स्ट लाइन थिला जे देखो the visitor wanted to show his superiority over other in the palace एटा एक नंबर थिला सेंटेंस हला सेकंड सेंटेंस थिला जे एटा देखो the court scholars were afraid of the king's anger एटा 2 नंबर सेंटेंस थिला हला तापरे एटा देखो Rama accepted the challenge thrown by the visitor Rama चैलेंज को एक्सेप्ट कला ये 3 नंबर सेंटेंस थिला तापरे रामा had a bundle of tied in silk when he came to the palace हला तापरे एटा 4 नंबर थिला तापरे देखो तापर ये 5 द किंग वांटेड टू नो मोर अबाउट द वर्क इमीडिएटली मेंशन्ड बाय द रामा ये 5 नंबर थिला हला तापर कोन रामा शोड द वर्क टू द बंडल ऑफ स्टिक टाइड टुगेदर बाय ए रोप एडा 6 नंबर थिला हला तापरे द किंग लव्ड एट द एक्सप्लेनेशन गिवन बाय रामा एडा 7 नंबर थिला 8 नंबर कौन थिला द गेट स्कॉलर ashamed because he did not know what to say हम ashamed लज्जा है गले हला एडा थिला 8 नंबर हला ए पर वाले सीक्वेंस तमे सीरियल वाइज लिखि दब हला while asking question it is important to use appropriate tone to convey the correct meaning yes or no question have you raising tone at the end Are you coming home? Home टाको स्ट्रेच कली ना मु डबल एच टाइप रे कोन कर जतले भी क्वेश्चन पचार थुआ लास्ट वर्ड टाको स्ट्रेच करबो आर यू कमिंग होम आर यू कमिंग होम हला लास्ट वर्ड टाको स्ट्रेच करबो टर्न इन प्रिसाइज बाय सेइंग द लाउड एंड करेक्ट इज दिस योर कैट हला एटा देखो इज दिस योर कैट कौन करछु मु लास्ट वर्ड टाको स्ट्रेच करछु ना नहीं व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ योर कैट हला विल यू बी गोइंग टू बी आवर विलेज लास्ट वर्ड टा कोन होसी स्ट्रेच होसी तो धीर माने देखो मन रख जेतल भी क्वेश्चन पचारछ कोन करछ क्वेश्चन पचारछ कोन क्वेश्चन पचारछ ताल मन रख सीढ़ी चढ़ी चढ़ी जीवो हला सीढ़ी चढ़ी चढ़ी जीवो एडे तक फास्ट इज दिस योर कैट इज दिस योर कैट देखो सीढ़ी जिंदि उच्चता बढ़ी बढ़ी जाउची सेमिति क्वेश्चन पचारे बेले प्रथम वार्ड टू द्वितीय वार्ड द्वितीय टू तृतीय तृतीय टू चतुर्थ प्रति वार्ड रो स्ट्रेस इंटोनेशन दा टोन दा बढ़ी बढ़ी जीवो राइज हे जीवो हला राइज हे जीवो आ जते बेले आंसर करूच आंसर करिबो पिला माने तते बेले सीढ़ी खसी खसी आसीबो हला माने तळु को आसीबो आंसर कला बेले प्रथम वार्ड ता अधिक हबो द्वितीय वार्ड ता ताडु कम तृतीय वार्ड ता ताडु कम चतुर्थ वार्ड लास्ट गला जेमति कि व्हाट इज योर नेम 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 टाकू लंबा कली माय कहला बेले कोन का माय नेम इज सूर्यमणि साहू सूर्यमणि माय नेम इज सूर्य सूर्य टा कोन करबो ना तम नाना को धीरे कहबो हला ए रूल टा मन रख हला तम इंग्लिश स्पोकन इंग्लिश बेटर डेवलप हबो Why are you going to your village? एटा देखो केमते पड़ियो Why are you going to your village? Is this where you live? Where do you live? Can I meet your parents? How are you parents? Do you have any plans for tomorrow? What are you going to do tomorrow? तो लास्ट वर्ड तक सबले स्ट्रेच करिवो हला व्हाट व्हाई व्हेन हाउ वेयर एंड हु आर द वर्ड्स यूज्ड टू आस्क क्वेश्चन एडा ओना सब कोन क्वेश्चनिंग वर्ड हला हु इज क्लेवर कैरेक्टर इन द स्टोरी करेक्ट हु इज द cleverest character in the story हला देखा ये क्वेश्चन बनार से ट्रिक देइछि Hala, work in paid, turn into ask and answer the question, a trip, planning, remember the correct intonation while asking the question. एटा जो practice करिया पे तमु देइस पिलाने जे तमे किपरि क्वेश्चन रो टोन रा किपरि बढ़े बढ़े जीवो राइजिंग टोन रे केंदी क्वेश्चन पचारिबो हला where do you live एटा कोन डबल एच आइला where तो एटा कोन हला खाली कलो can I meet your parents एटा राइज कर चलला हला तो से सेगुडा को सब देइछि हला राइज कर पड़ेबो आ कोडा कोडा डबल एच जोटा वर्ड नथि अपके ताको रेज करिकरी पड़ेबो हला नेक्स्ट the name of the witty character who एटा देखो witty character ना कोन थिला तेनाली रामा तेनाली रामा हला the reason for her his wit being important in the story why because he solved the misunderstanding between the king and the queen कौन because he solved the misunderstanding between the queen and king हला एटा भी तुमको देखे दोचे आर क्वेश्चन 6टा जाक केतरा क्वेश्चन अछि देखो प्लान 6टा अछि 6टा जाकर क्वेश्चन आंसर म तुमको देखे दोछि हला एटा बड़ा बड़ा एटा जागा नै लिखिया पे मु लिखि देइछ तम पई हला एडु देखि दियो एडु तक 6टा जाक क्वेश्चन लिखि देइछि why is the wit important in the story हला what was the most famous trick or clever idea he used when does the story takes place how did the Tenali Rama solve the problem where does the story takes place ए सब गुडा कर मु लिखि देछि हला तमे कोन करियो एठु पॉज कर दियो वीडियो को पॉज करिकरी आर स्क्रीनशॉट नै छ नले नीचे नीचे पॉज कर वीडियो को खाता रे देखि दियो हला तापर देछि तमरो एसे राइटिंग विषय देछि लिख देला हां तापर बहर देखो एसे राइटिंग विषय तीन प्रकार एसे राइटिंग गोटे होची तुमको एटा सिखेबा पछे हला कंट्रोल टू गाइडेड राइटिंग और फ्री राइटिंग और क्रिएटिव राइटिंग गाइडेड कंट्रोल मान कोन हला तो पार्ट देछि देखो टाइटल दबा एसे रो इंट्रोडक्शन दबो आइडिया ऑर्गेनाइज करबो कंटेंट रेडी करबो लैंग्वेज ग्रामेटिकली एप्रोप्रिएटनेस पर ध्यान दबो स्टाइल पर ध्यान दबो तापरे कंक्लूजन दबो ए सातटा पार्ट रे तमे एसे लिखिबो हमें अन्य क्लास से सिखेबा एसे लिखबा हला एट देखो टाइटल लेसन इन रेस्पोंसिबिलिटी आउटलाइन देला रीड द सैंपल गिवन इन द बिलो एटा गोटे सैंपल देछि हला केन हेडिंग दबो साइड हेडिंग दबो से विषय देछि हला एडे रीड एडे आंसर देनी कि एडे तम रीडिंग ले जो फास्ट के पचर नथले से रीडिंग ले आंसर गुडा को एडे देछि हला तो एति रहला आज रो क्लास पिलाने हला बहुत लंबा गला गोटे घंटा गला तो वीडियो टिक देखो पॉज करी आंसर गुडा को नोट करनियो रहली पिलाने धन्यवाद आगामी क्लास से देखाबो।